Wow, look at that. That was really good timing on the ending of that song. Hi, everyone. Hey, gamers, we're back. We're playing some more PowerWash tonight. I know I was just playing it last night, but we only got one level done. And I have a feeling we might only get one level done tonight, quite honestly, because the next one looks like it's gonna be a lot. Um, but we're here. We're gonna do it anyway because I gotta get through this game. So I set myself a goal, and I'm gonna freaking reach that goal, dude. Um, hmm. So I think we should just go ahead and just jump right into things. So I'm going to turn off the piano music. No time to waste tonight, baby. I got to make sure everything's working, first of all. There we go. All right, perfect. Look at that. Hi. We're just going to get started tonight, baby. All right, next up was the solar system exhibit. I remember that because we only did it last night when I saw it. 3,500. There's something else I wanted to look at because I was like, I need more money, right, for the next like power washer. So what if I get rid of that? There we go. Awesome. And now what I want to do, no, because I actually like having this one. I'm gonna get rid of this. I'm gonna sell that. There we go. Oh, we just barely don't have enough. Ah. Hmm. Hmm. Because I'm using this one right at the moment. So I could probably get away with selling this. There we go. All right. Bop, bop, bop. And then we'll make up the rest in the next little bit here. Stretch break and hydrate. I just started. Also, hi, Arthur Blur. Welcome in. Ugh. Oh, I feel my bones creaking right now. Oh, kids, don't get old. Getting old sucks. Stay young forever. It's a warm-up stretch. I appreciate it. And hydrate. I must also hydrate. There we go. We got exactly $1 for that. Actually, I want to see something. So if I go in professional duty, here we go. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's gonna clean everything much easier. There we go. Look at that. Hello, Shin. Welcome in. Uh, God, we have so much to clean on this. Um, I don't even have the soap nozzle for this particular washer yet, so. Hey, Turnip, you like fitness? I need to get into fitness. I'll be honest, I've been putting on a few pounds. I need to boot up Wii Fit. Why do you ask? Fitness. All right, all right. I did see someone today at work wearing a shirt that had that. But it like obviously because it's family friendly park that I work at. The one they were wearing is yeah, I'm in a fitness taco in my mouth. Uh, yes, yes. Oh, this is all one thing. Okay, cool. There we go. Look at that. All right. I do wonder, because we got the trim right here. I wonder if it, like, is all one big thing. I suppose there's only one way to find out, which is just going around the whole thing. Oh, God. Okay. I got down to 187 pounds today. Hell yeah. Good job. Yeah, no, I've been seriously considering, I've been seriously considering getting Ring Fit Adventure recently, because I don't like going to the gym, and I need to gamify my fitness experience. So I have actually genuinely been considering getting Ring Fit Adventure just to like motivate myself to want to actually get in shape again. It might make you feel better because I'm actually heavy. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying is I'm right at the moment the heaviest I think I've ever been in my life, and I need to actually start taking care of myself. Part of me's thinking about that too. Okay, good. I'm glad I'm not alone on this. My heaviest was 205. I think I'm well over 200 now. It's when I was a kid, when I was in, especially in high school, middle school and high school, I was a fucking twig. I was a beanpole. I was really really thin. Part of that comes from uh, having to take ADHD meds when I was in high school, and not having an appetite, and therefore not eating, which was not healthy. Come on, give me the ding, give me the ding. There it is. There's the ding. I was not a twig, but I weighed less than the receivers. They were 150, 155. I was 10 pounds lighter as a senior. But also they were like 4 inches taller. Hmm. Mine was anxiety burning through all my nutrients and leaving me constantly hungry but having a high metabolism. I also had that same problem, so pair that with not having a fucking appetite and getting nauseous even at the thought of food when I don't have an appetite. Um, it's not a great combination, I'm not gonna lie to you, gamers. What part of this did I miss? There we go. Okay, that counts. 5'9.5". Oh, welcome to the club. I know I joke around that I'm only 3 grapes tall, but like IRL, I'm about that. I'm about 5'9.5" myself. There we go. Oh, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. Look at that. So you cleaned in some kind of star place? Yeah, we're doing like an exhibit about the solar system right at the moment. I'm around 5'11" to 6 foot. At least you led with 5'11", because I feel like most 5'11" guys are like, I'm actually 6 feet. So in that way, Rav, you are being more honest than most dudes right now. And my mom didn't really cook with a lot of sustenance, so even when I did eat a lot, it wasn't enough. My folks went on the keto diet for a little while I was still in high school, and they usually would make recipes out of like this very specific cookbook they had for it, right? And I gotta tell you guys, that was some of the driest fucking chicken I've ever had in my life. There was nothing to that chicken that they made a lot. Like they made it a lot for a long time, and really still to some extent. I have trouble with grilled chicken because I have trauma from how like horribly dry that shit was. Dude, the keto diet is just sad looking. Yeah. Yeah. Speaking from experience, it's not just sad looking, it's also just sad. I'm not by any means a foodie, but like, my god, dude. Poorly seasoned chicken should be a crime. True. Josiah just grilled some chicken tonight and it was actually super good. I'm super happy for you. I wish I could enjoy it. Unfortunately for me, it's too late. Because he uses seasoning. Yeah, that's so fair. No, it was it was so bad. Hmm. Do I have enough to get anything else? Probably not. No. But you know what I do have? I forgot about this. Oh, I could do Yo-Yo's method on doing all of this. Hang on. Now that I actually have this washer, I can actually just straight up make this work. This is a game changer. I cannot believe how well this works. You know, I was going to be methodical about all of this, and yet there's a part of me that doesn't want to do that now. But yeah, everything was skinny, heart healthy, sugar free in my house. Vegetables were always steamed. Ugh. I don't have an issue with like occasionally doing that kind of thing, but like when it's all the time, you know, that's when I start to have an issue with it. I'm also uh the kind of person that's like I don't like having the same meal for dinner 2 nights in a row, you know? Like it just doesn't sit right with me. I don't know if that's a me thing. Well, actually I know it's not just a me thing because I know Ray's the same way. Um but eh. Also no soda, milk was the drink for dinner. Damn. Damn, at least my parents would let me have like a Coke or something like that, you know? Damn, no soda. Fuck, dude. Not even sugar-free soda like Coke Zero or like shit like that? There we go. And my mom wonders why I had cystic acne. Nope, soda was considered a dessert. Insane. That was an aperitif in my house. It was just something that went with dinner. I mean, not all the time, of course. You know, a lot of time it was just like, you know, water or yeah. Sometimes it would be milk. I would usually like only have milk with my dinner if it was like something very like sauce heavy, like something like spaghetti or like pizza. Tea was a big thing in our house too, like sweet tea. Now I can never have a glass of milk ever again. I'm so tired. Yeah, that sucks. I'll have a glass of milk every now and then. Not very often, but you know, occasionally. We were in a tea house. Yeah. My family, for the most part, limited soda, but we've got to have it with dinner. Yeah, exactly. Hmm. Actually, my stepdad ran. I'm saying this in past tense because he no longer is associated with the business or anything. Um, I'm not going to get too much into the details on that because I don't need to dox myself. But ran a successful business in our hometown. It was like a bar kind of thing. And so every so often I would just head down to the bar and just get like a soda. And because they all knew I was, you know, the owner's kid, they'd just be like, all right, yeah, no charge for you. Great. Awesome. No coffee either. I I wasn't disallowed from having coffee, but I was like not encouraged to have coffee, if that makes sense. Where it was like it wasn't strictly off the menu, but like they didn't really want me drinking a whole ton of coffee when I was a kid. You know? So that one I kind of get. My house was pretty barren when it came to food. That sucks. We would do this thing with our church. Every Tuesday, we would invite a bunch of people from our church over, and we would like make spaghetti for everyone, and it was a grand old time. That was kind of our deal. Is we were that household that would invite everyone over and like, oh, let's all have dinner together, that sort of thing. It was an ingredient household, yeah. Not just because we were low income, it's just that my mom never bought anything with actual calories or fat. It feels weird, right? Like I guess, you know, nutritional knowledge does always, you know, sort of change and change with the times and everything, but it does kind of feel a little weird that like everyone was so scared of like fats in their food, you know? So any and all good stuff was the first to go. Yeah. It just I don't know. Maybe it's just hindsight and maybe it's just like knowing what we know now and everything. But it does feel a little strange to me that is like everyone was scared of that shit for a long time. Like it was a big deal. Um, you know, it was sugars and fats were bad for you. So, well, no, actually, they're part of a healthy, balanced diet, but taken in moderation. You know, too much of anything will kill you. You know, it's not just stuff that's like bad for you, quote unquote. You know, like too much of anything will kill you. I feel so good. Why do you feel good, Shin? Not that like I'm like why do you feel good? No, I mean like you must suffer. No, I'm just like why? I want to know why. Also didn't help that I started birth control in middle school and basically had a second puberty which caused me to want to eat more food. Damn, that's crazy. Um I have not gone through my second puberty yet because I'm not on hormones. Uh but I fear the day. Knowing about my health and that I get to enjoy games and friends. Well, yeah, that's fair. Fair enough, I suppose. go. Look at that. Look at how pretty that is. Oh, space is so pretty. I fucking love space, dude. I really do. I've been obsessed with space since I was a kid. Um, oh my God. What can I afford? Can I afford anything, please? Come on. Well, actually, hang on. Hmm. I guess I can do that. And then just... Oh, shit. I got an achievement for that. Right, this is Venus that we're washing down. Yep, that's Venus, all right. All right, cool. We cleaned off Venus. Looks like a cheese ball. It does kind of look like a cheese ball, doesn't it? That's because it's a very toxic atmosphere on Venus. Venus is the kind of planet where if you step outside for literally 2 seconds, you will perish. I've had like 3 puberties, regular one, uh, birth control one, and my moving out puberty. Oh yeah, that's fair. I don't have a passion for space anymore when I learned people will decay genetically quickly if we go there. But space fantasies are entertaining to watch. I mean, I not only still appreciate Star Wars, but I play Honkai. Understandable. No, I think space is just fascinating, like, to learn about. Um, I don't know, man. Will I ever get to go to space? Probably not. I probably will never actually get to explore the cosmos firsthand. But I think learning about space is just really neat. Um, there's so much cool shit in the cosmos, dude. AKA a healthy weight gain because my fiance actually knows how to cook and actually reminds me to eat real food 3 times a day. That is so fair. That is so real, I'm not gonna lie. Hello, Rowie. Mel, guess what? Hi, Shiri. Welcome in. Your boy is now in a polyamorous relationship. Let's fucking go! Hell yeah, I'm so happy for you. I hope it's a good polycule. I hope you guys are having a good time. Bots, yeah. There are bots, but it's okay. Sari's taking care of them. It was angsty for a bit. Well, you know. Sari's strangling about. Sari's like, hey, who's gonna mess with my guys? Who's gonna be sleeping with the fishes? I was always fascinated with space since I was a kid. Kind of made me realize that, oh wait, we're just floating on a rock. Yeah. Um, I remember when I was really little, I went to a local planetarium. Actually, the story I was telling last night about the like animation camp I went to as a kid, that very same museum has uh like a planetarium, and I got to go there as a kid, and like I just like space just was so fascinating to me. I was enamored. Um, that I like for a little while I wanted to be an astronaut when I was a kid. I really did. I really wanted to go to space. And then I keep in mind I was like 4 years old, all right, and my understanding of space is not as in depth as it is today. I learned what a black hole was, and I got really scared. I was like, I don't want to get sucked into a black hole. So I didn't want to be an astronaut anymore after that. All good now. I now have two cakes. Hell yeah. Had my first existential crisis over that. I didn't have an existential crisis over the fact that like, oh, we're just on a rock floating through space. Um, my existential thought when it came to space was the universe is 13 billion years old and is going to persist well after we're gone. Fuck, dude. It's a lot for a freshman in high school to have to deal with. I thought about being an astronaut, but math. See, the math problem or the math part wouldn't have been too bad for me. I would have dealt with that. But I was just like, I don't know, man. Space travel is fucking dangerous. As much as I would love to be able to someday go to space. As of now, with our current technology, I don't think I would have the guts to actually do it. I'm too much of a wuss. I could barely handle a fucking roller coaster, dude. It was like that, but with finding out the sun was low-key gonna die one day. That's also true. We're about at the halfway point of the sun's lifespan. It's been around for about 5 billion years. It's gonna be around for another 5 billion years. Fortunately, none of us will ever have to deal with the fact that the sun's gonna explode one day. So maybe that makes you feel better. I don't know. What's that like being good at math? I have the number version of dyslexia. I wouldn't even say that I'm like particularly good at math. I just like solving puzzles. And I always think of math problems as like puzzles. It's like here are the rules of the puzzle, go solve it. You know, that's always how I've thought of math. Um so I never had a big issue with it. I never got the people that were like, "Oh, math sucks. Math is stupid." I get it if it's like confusing, you know, or if like you have like dyslexia and it's hard to parse. But like the people are like, I don't know, math sucks, like for no other reason than they just want to be a hater. Eh. That's that's when I'm like, all right. There's a brief time when I was afraid of the sun exploding or there being nothing. But when I was 10-ish, I decided it doesn't matter. It wouldn't be so bad to go out when the world is so hard. That's crazy that you thought that at 10 years old. No, you see, when I was young, I watched that one episode of Doctor Who where the Doctor and Rose go and watch the sun explode. And then there are tree people, and then a woman made of skin. Makes more sense if you know what I'm talking about. But I feel like that's a fun way to have your first existential crisis is by watching Doctor Who. Moisturize me. Yeah, you know. Um, that is fun when you find a way to apply it exactly. I like the concept of it. It's fascinating to think about. Wow, this man-made formula has been able to do X, Y, Z. We're an amazing, intelligent species, but I just couldn't understand it. Understandable. That I get. That I do understand. Oh, it's the asteroid belt. Okay, cool. I was like, this looks more like more dirt. No, it's supposed to be because you got Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, asteroid belt, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and then no Pluto because it's not a planet anymore. Did I mention that I like space? Shout out Project Hail Mary, by the way. Hell yeah, shout out Project Hail Mary. That's a good fucking movie, dude. I need to read the book. Just stop your crying, it's a sign of the times. That is 100%, by the way. That song is going to be on the Jam Sesh this year. Gotta get away from here. Do you know how the Earth core was made? I don't know how the Earth's core was made. I do know that the reason we have the moon is because a big ball of flaming rocks hit a different ball of flaming rocks, to paraphrase Bill Wirtz. And now it's now the moon. Or at least that's the big leading theory, and there's not been much to disprove it, so. I would be that kid sobbing over my math homework. Damn. Fractions still mess me up. Fractions can be tough. Fractions can 100% be tough. I do get that. You know what? What if I did this? One of the flaming rocks is our Earth's core, as the Earth was made by a rock, as the Earth called Pangaea became Earth. Arthur Plura, I mean no offense when I say this. I feel like I had a stroke reading that. I truly do not mean anything offensive when I say that, but like, what? I'm sorry. No, don't worry, don't worry. Dude, geometry is killing me right now. Yeah, no, okay, I will say I had a not great experience with geometry, but it was not because of geometry itself. It was 100% my teacher. Um, I think I mentioned before on here that like my geometry teacher needed to retire like a full decade before I got there. Um, she was old enough that like she probably rode a dinosaur to school, man. Like it was bad, bad. To summarize it, the Earth was made via floating rock, as three rocks were made: the Moon, the Earth, and the core. I guess it makes sense, where it's like sort of a bunch of rocks sort of coalescing, and then one rock got kind of stuck in the middle and sort of became the core. And with the intense amount of pressure and heat, it sort of uh, like fused into iron, because we have an iron core in the center of the Earth, and that's why Earth has a magnetic field. I think is the order of operations there. I'm pretty sure that's how it all works. Dude, I had the worst algebra teacher my junior year. Yeah. So that was 2005 theory. And then asteroids landed and brought water. That is the theory. That is like a legit theory for how we have water on Earth. Is that there were some asteroids that happened to have water in them, and then it sort of crashed on Earth, and then that's how it happened. I remember my very, very Christian stepfather tried to convince me that, like, God created the universe or whatever. And for context, I'm an atheist. I'm, like, open-minded about things. Like, I'm not going to deny anything, really, but, like, my own personal thoughts and feelings are that I am an atheist, and I don't believe in a lot of that kind of stuff. But the way he fucking tried to convince me that, like, God is real and created, like, everything on Earth was using the phrase, it takes more faith to believe that this was all random chance, than, like, yeah, like a creator doing all of it. And man, like, if you're trying to convince me that, like, I'm in the wrong and you're using that as your argument, what? Oh man. Also, I'm just like, sorry, I'm going back through chat now. My original teacher died of cancer 3 months into the year. Jesus Christ. It's a really weak argument. Like, huh? Yeah, really, it's like, it takes more faith. And it's like, oh, so you're saying I'm more faithful? Is that what you're saying? That me, the atheist, is more faithful than you, the Christian? Is that it? Is that really going to be your argument here? for a little bit more context, he tried to make that argument while we were walking through the Museum of Natural History in New York. We just like got to a point where there were like a bunch of fish on the wall, and he fucking just said that out of nowhere. Like, brother, I know you're salty about me telling you that I don't believe in God, but like, come on. As a Catholic, right, complicated situation right now, science and faith can coexist. I can agree with that. I can 100% agree with that. Like I said, I'm open-minded about things. I'm not like discounting the idea that I could be wrong, right? I just don't see any evidence for it, anything in particular myself, and so that's the conclusion that I came to. And you are free to disagree with me, and I don't care. You know, like, I'm not gonna try to argue, like, oh, no, well, obviously science is the right way to go. It's like, well, yeah, I trust science, but, like, science as a rule is sort of an incomplete, um, like, understanding of the world. It's a view of the world that always tries to make itself more complete, but by definition is almost always incomplete, because, like, there's no possible way that we can know everything, you know? I love that these power wash streams just kind of turn into turnip like rants about her view of the world. I'm so happy that this is like my outlet for this. I want to get these thoughts out and everything. I want to make my statements known. I want to make my sort of worldview like known. It's fun though, big podcast energy for real. Hell yeah. Well, that's the thing about like this particular game is it very much lends itself to that sort of podcast energy. W stream, thank you. I appreciate that. And now everyone who's not subscribed is in ads. I'm so sorry, everyone. Um, hold on. I gotta scroll up in chat real quick. I wanna read this whole thing from Colleen. All right. My original teacher died of cancer like 3 months into the year, and the thing is, she was a great teacher, but her sub was the absolute worst. He wasn't even a math teacher. He spent the entire class talking about random stuff. That's the only class I've ever failed. Dude, my fiance's grandma, a devoted Christian, got upset that she went into a natural history museum and they talked about evolution. Like, what were you expecting? She told us this, and I almost casually replied, well, yeah. I mean, like, what the fuck were you expecting, dog? I just, oh. It's possible that the past is mutable, but it's not a human power. I mean, you know what? If time travel is real, then sure, I could believe that. Um, there was the thing recently that I saw where it was like, oh, well, Stephen Hawking threw a party for time travelers, but didn't send the invites out until the day after the party happened and nobody showed up, so time travel isn't real. But then all that shit came out about him in the files, if you know, you know. And so people are like, wait, no, the time travel thing is back on the table. Walks into soup store, sees soup. Why so much soup? That's basically what it is, though. It's pretty much that. Then I realized that I grew up in a family of people who believe in evolution science. Well, good. See, there's plenty of evidence, scientific documented evidence to support the theory of evolution. And I think, you know, like, I'm sure that at some point we're going to come up with, like, a more complete understanding of how all of that shit works. But, like, as of now, the theory of evolution seems to have all the evidence to it. So, like, yeah, man, who am I to disagree? I'm not one to disagree with the scientists doing the real work on this, you know? I don't know better than they do. It's the kind of thing, it's like I'm no expert in basically anything. Um if if any phrase has ever applied to me as a person, it's jack of all trades, master of none. Um, I'm not an expert in basically anything, and so I usually tend to trust those who have more experience in the field or like, you know, are known to know what they're talking about. Like I'm not just going to trust any random schmo on anything, but like when it comes to like science, I'm going to trust the scientists, you know, the people doing the work. My hold on. It's even more infuriating when Josiah is a huge dinosaur fan, like his grandma thinks cavemen and dinosaurs frolic together. She's been watching too much Flintstones. I still think my favorite moment in history is people find out dinosaurs in the 1800s and being like, the fuck are these? I do think that's so funny, but also extremely sad that George Washington never knew what a dinosaur was. Um, could you imagine like trying to explain to like a medieval child like the concept of dinosaurs? First of all, I think because you know you're talking about dinosaurs to like children, they'd be all over that shit, right? I feel like plenty of adults in the 1600s would be into that shit, but like God, trying to explain the concept of dinosaur to like to a child from the 1600s is just so funny. Maybe they were onto something with dragons. I've heard the theory that like I don't know that I actually buy this theory or anything, but I have heard the theory that like people have actually dug up dinosaur skulls in the past and just kind of thought they were dragons. Washington might in a future life. Yeah, if you believe in reincarnation, which I'm not saying I don't. I'm also not saying that I do. Like I said, there's no way to know on that one. How to train your dino. Imagine telling what a dinosaur is to a Frenchman. They'd be like, "Oh yes, this is le T-Rex." My terrible, terrible French accent. I'm going to apologize to the country of France. Oh, oui, oui. Listen, if there's any country that I do respect, it's France. And I'll tell you why. First of all, those motherfuckers know how to throw a revolution, right? Like those guys are banger revolutions, you know? Like they throw some banger revolutions. They've surrendered the one time and that's been their historical legacy and I think that really sucks. Also, just the existence of Les Miserables. It's really good play. I know it was a book first, but like the musical is really good. Do you hear the people sing, singing the song of angry men? It is the music of a people who will not be slaves again. Also, Hunchback of Notre Dame, yes, true. Really, honestly, at this point, I think we just need to thank Victor Hugo specifically, though. Like fire, hellfire. Dude, the French were insane in the weapon manufacturing game. I believe it. Also, as someone who quite appreciates the field of cartography, they made a really cool map that one time that was like the precursor to like modern maps. Mapman did a whole video on it, which was quite cool to learn about. Thinking about the stage adaptation of Hunchback that should have gone to Broadway, yeah. It's like a really good stage adaptation of Hunchback as well. It's crazy to think that like one of the more polarizing Disney films had one of the better stage adaptations. I still will never be able to get over the fact that like I feel like they were running out of fairy tales to adapt, and Michael Eisner was like, "Fuck it, Hunchback of Notre Dame, fuck you." And then the Disney animators had to figure out how to make that a G-rated film, and by God, they technically succeeded. I don't know that I would have rated that shit G. More proof that the motion picture industry at large doesn't care about animation, because I feel like they just saw the Disney name and assumed, yes, G rating. Anyway, here's a song called Hellfire. Did not know that Charles Xavier was a narrator for the Dragon Show on Animal Planet. Oh, Sir Patrick Stewart. I'm not surprised. That man has a fucking buttery voice. Witchcraft. Yeah. Yeah, a G-rated Disney movie that has several characters using a slur. Um, and I'm not even talking about Song of the South. Um, actually, I don't think they ever use any slurs in Song of the South. It's just, like, mildly racist. I still think they should release Song of the South as an educational thing. Um, I just be like, hey, gamers, like, do what the Looney Tunes did, and be like, hey, gamers, this was made in a different time. It is a product of its time, and we need to just remember that as we watch this, sort of thing. But I also think they should release it for, like, educational purposes and be like, yeah, well, this was, like, the sort of, like, mood at the time, pop culture-wise. There we go. I found Song of the South on DVD? Jeez! Also, like fire, hellfire, this fire in my skin, this burning desire is turning me to sin. Yeah. It's not my fault. I'm not to blame. It is the slur. Girl. I'll still never get over the fact that, like, because not everyone realizes that that's, like, a slur, they also put that in Kingdom Hearts. In Dream Drop Distance, Frollo takes one look at Sora and immediately says, I know exactly what you are. It was part of a compilation DVD set. That's crazy, because, like, they didn't release it by itself on home video. Like, they straight up never did. I know they, like, would put, like, Zippity Doo Dah, which is a song from Song of the South. They would put that in, like, their sing-along DVDs and stuff like that. And I know that because we had that one on DVD, where it was, like, one of the sing-alongs, and it had Zippity Doo Dah, Zippity Yay. My, oh my, what a wonderful day. I don't even remember the songs in Hunchback of Notre Dame. Oh, mm, I gotta tell you, man. First of all, Hellfire, great fucking song. Actually, honestly, legit, maybe Disney's best villain song. Um, Be Prepared and Mother Knows Best ain't got shit on Hellfire. Um, Poor Unfortunate Souls, never heard of her. But also, like, the opening number to Hunchback is really, really good. It's like a song that I'll just, like, sing to myself every now and then. Morning in Paris, the city awakes to the bells of Notre Dame. The fisherman fishes, the baker man bakes to the bells of Notre Dame. Scar had a song, yeah. The fact that song is the reason no other villain got a song. Well, yeah, no, but Scar had a song. That's the thing, though, right? Is, like, plenty of Disney villains have had songs. Ursula, Mother Gothel, King Magnifico. Um, Let us not forget that Wish not only is a movie that exists, but also does have a villain song, technically. Will the theme park employees ever be allowed to talk about Sora? I talk about Sora all the time. I like to do a bit because, like, I'm a Star Wars character at work. I'm not supposed to know what Kingdom Hearts is, but anytime I see someone who's, like, wearing, like, a Kingdom Hearts shirt, Instead of my usual like farewell, like oh till the spire, may the force be with you, anything like that, I'll go may your heart be your guiding key, just to see if they catch it more than anything else. They had motherfucking Chris Pine and he should have had a better song. I'm saying, dude. Wish, Wish feels like a disappointment because it was like supposed to be like oh the 100th anniversary movie for the Walt Disney Company, and it's so forgettable. It's a Disney appointment. Oh, that's good. Also, love how my on my Disney box set with Song of the South, the movie is on the same disco as the Lion King. It's on the same disc as the Lion King. Insane. Now we talk about the direct-to-DVD sequels. Yes, the only good one is Lion King 1.5, and I will die on that hill. Um, I really like Lion King 1.5. Aladdin, listen, I don't remember much from the Aladdin sequels. Um, I I will say I do like a lot of the direct-to-video Winnie the Pooh movies. So like Piglet's Big Movie and the Heffalump movie and um, The Search for Christopher Robin. I think one of them was called. Um, I liked all of those ones. I uh, I've never seen the Tigger movie in its entirety. I will say that one. Cinderella 3 I heard is good. I've seen bits and pieces of Cinderella 3. I really like the one scene where like the prince is like coming down the stairs and is like, "Stop! You will not go any further down these stairs." And he looks to his left and there's a big open window. And he goes, "Okay," and then jumps at the fucking window. What a guy! Oh, Cinderella 3 is so funny. I need to watch it, man. Um, but yeah, my hot take is that the best direct-to-video Disney sequel is Lion King 1.5. Lion King 2, never heard of her. Um, I know a lot of people are like nostalgic for Lion King 2, but like I don't know, I never got into that one. Lion King 1.5 was always my jam. You know what I could do? But I keep forgetting about now that I can do this. You ever watch the open season trilogy? I didn't realize there was more than one of them, to be honest with you. Um, I've only ever seen the first open season, and it was so long ago that I remember fucking jack shit about it. I remember there's a scene where he's watching Wheel of Fortune. That's it. That's literally all I remember from that movie. Oh, did you ever find the Crazy Burger Easter egg in Lego Batman? I did find it. Yes, it's on one of the billboards. Insane that they put that in there. Two's okay, and I barely remember three. I didn't, like I said, I didn't even know that they made a second one, let alone a third. It's like when I found out they did a second Hoodwinked. You could say that I was hoodwinked. I blame the Lion King for convincing me that bugs taste good. Hakuna Matata tricked me. Um, Listen, they made the bugs in Lion King look really tasty, is all I will say on this. That being said, I would not eat a bug, personally. The second Hoodwink movie was bad, made by the Wiener Company. Yeah, made by the Weinstein Company. It was, well, the first one was done by them as well. Um, I will also die on the hill that Hoodwinked is actually quite a good movie if you can get past the animation. Like the animation in that movie is dog shit. It's not good. But like the actual film itself is really fun. I want to rewatch Hoodwinked now. The first one though, it looks bad, but it has charm. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's a really fun movie if you can look past the animation quality. It's pretty solid. The animation is what limits it. Yeah, exactly. Josiah loves Hoodwinked. I just can't get behind it. Yeah, I do get not being able to like sit through that movie, but like, and maybe part of it is just childhood nostalgia. I watched that movie a lot when I was a kid. Um, I would go to my grandparents' house. They had it on DVD. Do you remember Surf's Up? Hell yeah. It's like playing the Wind Waker for the graphics versus the story and gameplay. I disagree with that because like the graphics of the Wind Waker have held up considerably well for a GameCube game. Um, Also, like you could just play Wind Waker HD, which looks even prettier and is still exactly the same game, made ever so slightly less tedious during the Triforce quest, but you know, whatever. But yes, I do remember Surf's Up. That is another fun movie. I saw a dude wearing a shirt recently that had the fucking chicken from that movie going like, I can feel it in my nuggets. I wanted to give that man a fist bump. Treasure Planet is good. Treasure Planet is goated as fuck, dude. I love that movie. Treasure Planet actually legit is just one of my favorite movies. I remember the McDonald's toys for the movie. I remember I didn't see it when I was a kid. I was an adult the first time I watched Treasure Planet. But I remember having like the Morph toy from McDonald's. It had a redeemable dad for Surf's Up. Yeah, as opposed to Chicken Little, which did not have a redeemable dad. That dad was very much the opposite of redeemable. Honestly, fuck Chicken Little's dad. You know, like fuck that guy. He's not good. He's not a good dad. Buck Cluck. Yeah, that's his name. Oh, goodness. We only have two more of these panels to do. Fuck yeah. Um, I haven't watched Chicken Little in a long time either. That's another movie that's like, I should probably give it a rewatch at some point just to like remember what it is. Um, I mostly just remember that movie as being the weird one. And also, why did they put him in Kingdom Hearts? Why did they put Chicken Little in Kingdom Hearts before they put Treasure Planet or Atlantis in Kingdom Hearts? This is what I want to know. The movie is the reason I know about REM and Bare Naked Ladies. I think the reason I know about the Bare Naked Ladies is because of the Big Bang Theory, honestly. I also am personally off-put by art unless its quality is similar to that of real life or anime or superhero comics, just a little. You know what? I feel sorry for you in that case. I love cartoony shit. I love cartoony shit. Give me all the cartoony graphics. But I think stylized graphics in video games specifically like age a lot better than like very hyper realistic graphics. You know, because you can look at a video game and be like, wow, this is really cool, and then like it's gonna get like outpaced in like 5 to 10 years just by the sheer march of time. And now we are starting to see diminishing returns on that at this point in technological history. But like for a long time, it was like the hyper realistic graphics of like the PlayStation got completely outclassed by the hyper realistic graphics of the PS2, got completely outclassed by the hyper realistic graphics of the PS3, got completely outclassed, you know, and so on and so on. Um, but stylized video games always tend to age a lot better in my eyes because you can look at something like Parappa the Rapper on PS1, and that game still looks great. You know, um, or the Wind Waker on GameCube. Like those games still look really, really good, despite being on much older hardware because they weren't trying to go for a realistic style. They were trying to be stylized. You know, they weren't trying to emulate reality, so to speak. And so the graphical style didn't get outclassed by the next big thing. Basically depends on your palette for what it's intended to look like versus what it looks like. Yeah, well that's the thing though, is like video games especially have always had sort of a struggle with like um, you know, what is the intent here? What can we actually feasibly get away with technologically speaking? That's why a lot of like uh, crowd scenes in the early Kingdom Hearts games have like fucking nobody in them, right? So like that's why the arena in the Hercules world doesn't have anybody in the audience, or like why the ballroom scene in Birth by Sleep in Cinderella World doesn't have anybody at the ball outside of the major important characters. You know, it's because technologically speaking, they couldn't get away with that in a way that they wanted to, and so they just fucking didn't bother. I had Sleeping Beauty on DVD and got Old School Disney is dated. A bit, yeah. Now that being said, I have a soft spot for older Disney stuff. Because oh, I found the gnome. I have a soft spot for a lot of older Disney stuff because like part of it is I just grew up on that, but like another part of it is like with especially like the Disney Dark Ages, you know, basically like after Walt died and they had started like running out of stuff that he had started, there's definitely like a lot of charm in the way that they had to stretch their budgets to make these movies possible. Like 101 Dalmatians would not have been possible for them budget wise if they hadn't had like the Xerox machine, you know? But there's like kind of a charm to that because it's like these guys are doing the best they can with what limited resources they have and are still trying to make a quality film, you know? So there's a charm to that. I also like the very sketchy kind of look of a lot of the Disney characters around that time, like Robin Hood, and 101 Dalmatians, and you know, like Jungle Book. You know, have a very sort of rough sketchiness to their art style, and I think that's cool. Versus today, where you have like the hyper polished 3D renders and like it. A lot of current Disney movies like look good visually, but I don't know. There's just not as much charm there. I think, and again, maybe that's just like my own personal bias, but like I was still a kid when like Tangled came out. You know, I love that movie to death. I would also love to have seen it as like a 2D film. You know, it's why part of well, one of the many, many, many reasons I really like the Tangled TV series is like the style of that show is just really pretty. Um, on top of it also just being a good show to begin with. If you haven't seen the Tangled series, please God do yourself a service. It's only 3 seasons long. Um, there is some weird shit in there occasionally, but you know it's pretty good for the most part. Um, I will not lie. I think Cassandra is a badass, and I love her. Also, if you're into Broadway musicals at all, if you're not convinced to watch Tangled the series, Jeremy Jordan's in it. Um, maybe that'll be your reason to watch it, I guess. But yes, I think that's a really good show. 101 Dalmatians always makes me giggle because even Disney animators hated drawing cars, so they just Xeroxed it in. Yep. Oh, let me tell you, I bet a lot of the Disney animators were so happy when CGI started becoming a thing and they could just like 3D model the car and not have to fucking worry about it. Like at that point, uh, a lot of uh, Disney movies in like the 80s and 90s used more CGI than you would expect. Um, you know, things like The Great Mouse Detective uh, used it quite a bit, or Little Mermaid has a couple of CGI shots in it as well. Mostly it's like Prince Eric's ship, that sort of thing. They made a paper 3D model for 101 Dalmatians. Well, that's the thing, right? Is like that was all they could do because it was back in the 60s and they didn't have 3D CGI yet. So honestly though, like it's a very good like bit of ingenuity on the animators' parts. They're like, "Oh, we have to animate a car? No the fuck we don't." Great Mouse Detective, my beloved. I need to actually sit down and watch The Great Mouse Detective. Um, I've heard nothing but good things about that movie. Car? Fuck no. Meanwhile, cut to Pixar in the year of our Lord 2006. Hey gamers, we just released a whole movie about cars. Can you guys believe that movie's 20 years old this year? I keep forgetting that, but they've been putting out a lot of 20th anniversary merch at the parks, and so I keep getting reminded. I haven't seen it. No, I haven't seen The Great Mouse Detective. I know, I know, I know. I'm a bad Disney fan. I've not seen The Great Mouse Detective. I have a hatred of Cars 2006. I think it's a fine movie. I don't think it's one of Pixar's better ones, but like I think it's a decent film. Now that being said, I will do nothing but go to bat for the seminal hit film 2011's Cars 2. No, that's a lie. That movie is complete ass. I used to really not like it because it felt too silly. I guess that's fair. I don't know. Maybe I just don't understand the whole idea of like not liking something because it's silly. I like a lot of very silly things, you know. I like Star Wars, for example. That shit's real silly. Um, my quarrel with it is that the plot is so basic, but they just added cars. I saw like someone on it must have been like TikTok or Instagram recently where they were like, okay, what if like we did like a live action remake for Cars, but like they're all real people, and then the plot is just like a big celebrity manhunt for Lightning McQueen, who has gone completely missing days before the biggest race of his career. Where the fuck did he end up? Cut to Lightning McQueen in Radiator Springs, you know? That's just F1 the movie. That's fair. Who's to say that F1 is not just a soft remake of Cars? Different kinds of silliness, in my experience, can either make something pleasant or unpleasant. Yeah, I get that. Um, but usually for me, it's like I don't know. I like having a little bit of silliness. To paraphrase Wreck It Ralph, I am cringe, and that is based. I will never be based, and that's not cringe. There's no one I'd rather be than me. I just now remembered Garfield with Bill Murray. Okay, so I do have beef with that one. First of all, kind of a garbage movie, but like also extremely funny how Bill Murray ended up in that movie in the first place. It's because he thought it was being directed by the Coen brothers, only to find out that the director was a guy whose last name was Cohen, like misspelled by like one letter. But he had already signed the contract, so it was a little late for him to step out at that point. God tier paraphrasing, thank you. Another thing I don't like about Cars is this. Pixar always had trouble with human designs, so that's why they sort of gravitated towards non-human characters, Bugs Life, Monsters, Inc., Toy Story, etc. And then The Incredibles came out and the humans finally looked good. And then what does Pixar do next? Cars. I feel like Cars was probably in development around the same time as The Incredibles, though. Like, right? Because they only came out 2 years apart. Incredibles was 2004, Cars was 2006. They were probably working on both of them at the same time. Bug's Life, where Kevin Spacey dies at the end of the movie. True, that does happen. Oh. That's cool. Anyway. Please do not use unless authorized. Well, shit. Okay. You forgot about Finding Nemo. Finding Nemo was 2003, if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to remember the order that they all came out in. It was like Toy Story was 95, Toy Story 2 was 1999, Bug's Life was 1998, I think. Um, uh, Finding Nemo was 2003? Finding Nemo is one of my most favorite Pixar films. My favorite Pixar film right at the moment is Brave. I love Brave. I don't care what anyone says about that movie. I love that thing. That's the one I will always go to bat for. That being said, I have a very soft spot for Wally. Wally is one of my favorites. Toy 1, Bugs Life, Toys 2, then Monsters Inc., then Finding Nemo. That's right. Monsters Inc. was 2001. I will always remember that Monsters Inc. was like 2001, 2002, somewhere around there, because they had to change one of the bits after 9/11. Um, it's the bit where like they're escaping from the sushi restaurant, and in the final cut of the movie, they put like a big laser grid over the sushi restaurant to kind of like quarantine it. Um, but in the original cut of the film that was made before 9/11, they fucking actually just blew up the sushi restaurant. Um, we were robbed of a sequel of Monsters Inc. Not really. I mean, we got a prequel to Monsters Inc. and also there's the Monsters at Work show on Disney Plus. We sort of got a sequel to it. Monsters Inc. came out when I was only a few months old. Wow. Yeah. I own the unedited version of Monsters Inc. on VHS. I think it's blue tape. That's great. I love that. I think it's been long enough at this point, too. We bring back the original cut of Monsters Inc. Bring back the explosion cut. I say this because, like, yeah, I get why it would have been considered insensitive at the time, but like, A, it's been long enough, and B, the joke is so much funnier if they explode the sushi restaurant, right? Like, can we all agree on that? That the joke is way funnier if they just actually blow the thing up? And now we talk about DreamWorks. The Road to El Dorado is the best movie DreamWorks has ever made. I will not take any questions. Thank you for your time. Prince of Egypt slander. I haven't seen The Prince of Egypt in a very long time. I don't remember anything about that movie. Also, to answer your question, both? Both. Both is good. You don't like The Road to El Dorado? Insane. I listen, I love The Road to El Dorado. It's another one that I think I would consider it one of my favorite movies. Um, Also, it was not technically made by DreamWorks, but it was released by them. Chicken Run. It's also a really good movie. I love Chicken Run. Chickens go in, pies come out. Oh, what flavor? Apple. I love Chicken Run, dude. That movie is so funny. They're also Wallace and Gromit. Yeah, Aardman did Chicken Run, but DreamWorks released, or like published, I guess, uh, Chicken Run and Curse of the Were-Rabbit. I think it was Sony that did Pirates Band of Misfits. I also really like that movie. Pirates Band of Misfits is such a fun film. You remember Space Chimps? I remember that it existed. I never saw it. There's a PS1 game of Chicken Run where it's just Metal Gear Solid. Yes, I do know about that. I've not played it, but I want to. I know about that because of the Catechris review from ages ago. I gotta pull out the old kazoo so I can actually play that song. Planet 51 was pretty good if I remember correctly. I've never seen Planet 51, much to the chagrin of my girlfriend. My girlfriend really likes Planet 51. Um, Although, like The Road to El Dorado, I do have a small critique about it. What is your critique about The Road to El Dorado? I'm curious now. You watch Caddy? Of course I watch Caddy. I've been watching Caddy since, like, his early stuff. I'm talking, like, the first video I saw from him was his Lego Racers review from, like, 14 years ago. Um, he's the reason why I like to refer to Crash Bandicoot as Cash Banuka. I think the animation for El Dorado, while pretty good, pretty and of good quality, doesn't really match the tone of the movie, which is more comedic. So there's moments where the movement slash faces are supposed to convey a comedic moment, but doesn't match up most of the time. That is such a nitpick. You're so right. Because I disagree. I'm just gonna disagree with that one. Um, God, like fucking the scene I'm thinking of is the bit where like they're playing that weird ball game and Chell is trying to like from the sidelines quickly teach them how to play the game without like saying anything out loud, and just the look on her face as she's so exasperated by these two fucking idiots, you know? I think the animation sort of goes back and forth with wanting to look pretty and look comedic. I mean, I think it does a good job at both. Me personally, I think it does a good job at both. You know? But yeah, no, it's that one. It's Road to El Dorado, Atlantis: The Lost Empire, Treasure Planet. Those are like the movies that I will always go to bat for. I'll also throw Disney's Hercules onto that pile too. Like that one's more one of the well-known ones, but like I don't know, man. I feel like that movie got a lot of hate for a long time, and I don't get why. I'm glad it's finally like people are actually realizing how good that movie is. The thing with Disney's Hercules in particular for me is like it's what got me into mythology in the first place. So I don't really mind that it's like not super accurate or anything. It's also a Disney movie, and Disney movies have never been truly 100% faithful to the stories they adapt. Like let's not fucking kid ourselves here. Um I feel like that's such a weird nitpick for Hercules specifically. It's not like the actual mythology. Yeah, well, their version of Little Mermaid doesn't end with her fucking dying, and their version of Cinderella doesn't end with the stepsisters cutting off their feet or whatever. Like, why are we nitpicking specifically Hercules for that, you know? It just feels weird. I will say about Rhoda's Chell as an icon. Oh, 100%. If I had a nickel for every character named Chell in a piece of media that I liked, um, I'd have two nickels. Because it's The Road to El Dorado and Portal. Do you know what her original outfit was? It was just a poncho. That's cool. I'll have to look that up later because that sounds really neat. The moon rotates. Look at this. There we go. Uh, yeah, turn on safe search before you look that up. True. Honestly, you're so right. Um, there's also a few other DreamWorks movies I like Shrek, and Megamind. Megamind is a very good film. Um, that's another one that I didn't watch until I was an adult, and I like kind of regret that I didn't see it as a kid because it's just a better version of Despicable Me, right? Like they've both got very similar premises where it's like, oh, the villain is actually the hero of the story, and like, um, they have to learn to be true to themselves, kind of thing. I feel like Megamind did that plot better than Despicable Me. I also just don't like the minions, man. So I'm a little biased on that front, I suppose. What the fuck? There we go. Over the hedge means over. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Over the Hedge. I have not seen that movie in a long time, but I have played the DS game recently, and let me tell you, that is certainly one of the video games ever. Speaking of which, when's the next Over the Hedge stream? Good question. I haven't figured that out yet. Um, I know I should probably get on that at some point. Uh, well, honestly, tonight wasn't even really supposed to be Power Wash. We were supposed to do Court Cruise tonight, but one of the guys wasn't feeling well, so we decided to ixnay on that one. And so, like, last minute, I was kind of like, fuck it, Power Wash. I need to play more of the game anyway. Um, so I will keep you guys posted on the next Over the Hedge stream. Should play the GameCube one because it's a way better game than the DS version. Well, so the reason I played the DS version was because it was literally a charity incentive from our big charity event that we held back in December. We hit that goal, and so I was like, well, I guess I got to do this now. So. And also partly because like I actually have the DS version, which I don't for the GameCube version. I don't have that one. I got gifted it from my girlfriend because she thought it would be funny to send me a fucking uh, shovelware DS game. Get yourself a partner who will just gift you random terrible video games. It's worked out for me so far. Oh, yeah, this is a really cool thing about Saturn. So on the North Pole of Saturn, there's this weird hexagonal storm that's just constantly going, and no one's sure why it's hexagonal shaped. Because, like, basically all physical models that we have are like, well, it should be round. It should be, like, circular. It shouldn't be, like, hexagonal like that. And so it's like a big mystery. It's like, why is it a hexagon? It's cool shit. And now we talk about Shark Tale. Poor Will Smith. Shark Tale sure is a movie that happens. Weirdly enough, very overpowered on a game that we like to play sometimes called Connect the Stars, which is sort of like a 6 degrees of separation game where you're trying to like connect different actors and different to each other through the different movies that they've been in. But Shark Tale is really weirdly good for that game because there's so many big names in it, like fucking Will Smith, Jack Black, Martin Scorsese, you know, Robert De Niro, I think, is in that movie. Um, because the cast was stacked. That and Robots. Robots also weirdly good for Connect the Stars. Uh, Mostly because you have Ewan McGregor, which can connect you to like Star Wars, and then you also have like Robin Williams and uh, fucking Jennifer Coolidge is in that movie and Mel Brooks. Yeah, I like Robots a lot growing up. It's a good movie. It's I've joked around a bit before that Robots is basically just a kid-friendly version of the Communist Manifesto, but like that is basically what that movie is about, right? Is about like, the people rising up against the shackles of capitalism. Um, but they put fart jokes in it, so it's good for the kids. Upgrades, people, upgrades. Infinity. We found someone. Why is she called Aunt Fanny? Because we couldn't call her Aunt Booty. Uh, Listen, that movie is very fun, all right, and very quotable. And also, Fender is a transgender icon, a transbian icon, no less. Because let's not forget that he also ends up going out with that one girl from the party, the receptionist, whatever her name was, I forgot. Um, I think that's first movie I learned a dirty joke. Neat. I still think Ewan McGregor and Nicole Kidman had something going on during Moulin Rouge. I wouldn't be surprised. If I'm not mistaken, Ewan McGregor and Mary Elizabeth Winstead are married, which is really funny now that they've both been in Star Wars, because he plays Obi-Wan, and then she was live action Hera uh, in the Ahsoka series. You missed the delivery, but making the babies the fun part. That's a really good line. Listen, it works so well in that context. It's a really good bit. What I'm saying is that Robots is a perfect film. I'm not even lying when I say that. I think Robots is a really, really good movie. I'm not gonna say it's like a perfect film by any means, like realistically speaking, but like it's a very fun movie. Um, ever watch Ants the movie? Is like robots but with ants and has Woody Allen, Sylvester Stallone, Christopher Walken, and a few other famous people. I have, but it's been a very, very, very long time. I'm talking like it's probably been more than 20 years since the last time I saw Ants. Um, but yes, I do know what you're talking about at the very least. That was DreamWorks being like, Pixar is making a movie about ants. Let's do the same thing and rush development for it. Um, which is basically what happened. Pretty much why that movie exists. Because Jeffrey Katzenberg was being a little bitch, as per usual. To be fair, though, Jeffrey Katzenberg being a little bitch is also what got us Shrek, so who am I to complain, really? It's also Sinbad the movie. I've never seen Sinbad. Um, I still to this day have not seen that one. I've heard good things about it, but just never got around to it. Um, there's so many movies I need to watch, man. Ray's been getting on me recently because I haven't seen The Sound of Music. Um, and I'm going to just freely admit that on the internet, and it's okay. I'm ready to be crucified now. Um, uh, yeah, there it is. That's the reaction I was expecting. Um, no, I haven't. I've been meaning to. I've just been putting it off. What the fuck is any of this? Hang on. What did I buy? Hang on. Oh no, this is just the normal one. It's just the lighting in here is really weird. Okay, I was really confused. I was like, that looks different than it normally does. There's also another Bible movie from DreamWorks. It's Joseph the Dreamer. Yeah. Dude, Christopher Plummer's in that movie. Yeah. And Julie Andrews' is mother. I mean, that's always been true. Julie Andrews is always mother. Name a movie in which Julie Andrews is mother. You're gonna have to narrow that down a little bit. Now we're on to VeggieTales. Listen, speaking as someone who was raised Christian but is atheist now, VeggieTales is the fucking goat, man. Like, VeggieTales is a really good way to teach kids about Bible stories. And I'm saying that as someone who doesn't believe in the Bible. Lord of the Beans. I didn't watch Lord of the Beans. I did watch Minnesota Cuke, which was their Indiana Jones parody. Um, that one was about Samson's hairbrush. don't know anything about VeggieTales last in non-religious household. Colleen, please, you gotta watch VeggieTales. Please. You must understand. Just picture parodies of movies, and that was VeggieTales is about. Sometimes they do Batman parody and a few others like Wizard of Oz. So that was like a thing that they did for a little while, was like movie parodies. But like a lot of times it was just like basically straight up retellings of Bible stories. Um, the one of the more famous ones is probably Rack, Shack, and Benny, which was the Bible story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and how they got thrown in a furnace for not bowing down to a false idol. And then through the light of God himself, they survived. And in the VeggieTales version, they work at a chocolate factory, and when they don't worship the giant chocolate bunny, they get thrown into a furnace and are saved by the light of God. They didn't really change that much about the story outside of just like the setting, really. Didn't the VeggieTales account get banned on Twitter or something? I'm sure a VeggieTales account got banned on Twitter. There was like one that was like a parody that probably got banned, or it was like official VeggieTales facts, but it was like a parody of VeggieTales or whatever, and it was like, "Fuck it, Bob the Tomato is trans now" or whatever, like that kind of thing. Um, it's like the kind of shit that they would post. But the creators of VeggieTales are actually pro-trans rights, which I think is really cool. There's Larry Boy, which is just Batman. Oh, yeah. And also Larry Boy, who had a banger fucking theme song, too. You haven't seen The Sound of Music, The Great Mouse Detective, or The Prince of Egypt. Now, I want to clarify, I have seen The Prince of Egypt. It's been a very long time since I've seen The Prince of Egypt, and I remember almost nothing about it. But I have seen it. All right? I want to clarify. This is slander, all right? Uh, you want to know what Sauron is in Lord of the Beans turnip? I wish I was joking. His name is Dark Lord Scary Man. That makes sense, yeah. All right, now, while we're on the subject of religious animation for kids, please, God, tell me I'm not the only one in this chat who has seen Gaither's Pond. Because let me tell you, that is some atrocious dog shit. Also, the orc are called sporks and get tempted by cookies. Yeah, that makes sense. Mill. I love everyone in chat's like never heard of it. Okay, that's probably for the best. Please God, Gaither's Pond is basically what happens when a couple of Christian like music stars um, see the massive wild success of VeggieTales and are like, we can do that, and then fail miserably. It's about a bunch of fish who live in a pond and they teach about Bible stories. And let me tell you, the first episode is really, 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 really bad. Like the animation is awful, the writing is awful, the voice acting is awful. The second episode at least steps up the quality in animation, but it's still not like good. Um, if you guys have seen The Amazing Digital Circus, specifically the beach episode, where like Pomni goes under the water and runs into the really poorly rendered like orange fish voiced by Zach Hadel, that fish is a direct reference to Gaither's Pond. They look like the bad CGI fish in The Amazing Digital Circus. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, Goose herself has basically said that that was a direct reference to Gaither's Pond, was the bad CGI fish. And my favorite VeggieTales is Jonah. Jonah, the Jonah movie does go hard. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sleeping with fishes here in the belly of the whale. Even the digital circus fish look better than Gaither's Pond. True. Um, though to be fair, they're working with much better technology than the Gaithers folks were working with. So it's not really a fair comparison, but also like the fact that they tried to make them look as bad as possible and still ended up looking better than the real Gaithers Pond is so funny. Um, the entire show is like multiple bowling alley screens at the same time. Yeah, it's not great. Now that being said, Ray and I have been known to quote Gaither's Pond at each other because like there are some bits that are really funny. There's one particular guy who's in it who is given his all when it comes to the voice acting. Like I still wouldn't say he's like a great voice actor or anything, but like he's having so much fun with it, and you can really tell. Um, he's like, I've gotta write a retraction. I've gotta stick with the facts. And I need to think before I write. Like, the way he, like, delivers some of those lines is really funny. Look up, Spiders from Miss Spider Sunny Patch and Friends. I do remember, Miss Sunny Patch. Miss Spider Sunny Patch. That's another one where it's like, I could never get into that because of the way it looked. Like even at the time when I was a kid, I was like, this looks bad, you know. Oh yeah, the Ted Cruz Spider. Right. I yeah, the one that does kind of look like Ted Cruz, doesn't he? Insane. Okay, cool. That should do that. Oh my god. Where? Where? Oh, that's where all of it was. Okay, cool. How do I do this? How do I? What buttons do I need to press? There we go. Okay, cool. You ready? It's a star. One of my favorite quotes in Jonah is where he says, "I was in the belly of the whale," and they stop and say, "But you're here." Um, it's been a long time since I've seen the Jonah movie. I do remember really liking it as a kid. Um, actually, for a while, Jonah was my favorite Bible story simply because of the VeggieTales movie. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Um, I remember watching a documentary on the 19 Kids and Counting family and all the horrible things they've done. And apparently the family wasn't even allowed to watch VeggieTales. No, they missed out. I mean, they also missed out on being, like, a normal human family, but, like, also they missed out on VeggieTales. I can't believe this. Insane. It's kind of crazy. Like, again, I want to point out, like, I'm not Christian. I don't believe in anything like that. I don't really care what anybody else believes, but, like, it's not my thing. But, like, VeggieTales is, like, the one Christian thing I will always go to bat for, because, like, A, the creators are actually genuinely good people, and B, it's a big cornerstone of my childhood. Like, I'm not gonna, like, poo-poo on that, at least. I remember the first few episodes of VeggieTales, the one where Larry is thrown in with the lions and a girl becomes a queen. Yes. The second one, I think you're talking about Esther, which is, like, one of the movies they did. Your cousin brought over some VHS tapes because all they watched were creepily clean Christian sermons. Ew. And the cousin said, we at least have to have them watch VeggieTales, and they weren't allowed to watch them because the mom said talking vegetables is witchcraft. Insane! Insane. You know what the craziest thing is? Is the creators of VeggieTales said that or one of the creators of VeggieTales basically said, yeah, this is fine as long as we acknowledge the fact that because vegetables don't have souls, these guys aren't getting into heaven. Which is crazy to think that they're teaching Bible stories and will yet never know the light of God. Um, Documentary was fucked up. Fuck the Duggars. All my homies hate the Duggars. True. Eh? Oh, God. Okay. Those are separate parts from the platform itself. The little poles hanging all up. There we go. What? Oh, hello. Each star is its own individual thing? That's fucking wild. Alright. Cool. Ooh, constellations? Hell yeah. Men of that family kept getting in trouble for CP, well, not CP necessarily, but, like, I don't want to say the word out loud. Um, uh, PDF related crimes, and I'm genuinely not surprised anymore. Yeah. No, I'm not surprised. CP related things too, don't worry. Okay, good. So I'm not spreading this information on the internet. Um, it sucks that I have to say that about someone doing that kind of shit, but, like, ooh, called his cheeseburger. Oh no, the cheeseburger song is really good though. So she said to him, or he said to her, I like a cheeseburger, and I'd also like a milkshake as well. It's a good song. I think I learned how to play that one on my uke at one. One was caught with CP and essaying their sisters, and another one was caught essaying a minor. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Just when you think just when you think things can't possibly get worse, they do. Um, okay, That's all the polls done. The family tried to cover up the first son's crimes too. Jesus. Having both that and VeggieTales being the current topics is cosmically funny. It's, well, listen, this is what happens when you play a game like PowerWash Sim on stream, is sometimes you get caught in the middle of a couple of conversations, and they happen to be uh, very distant from each other. I can't believe you literally just put the lyrics to the cheeseburger song in chat and then highlighted it. That's fucking crazy. Hydrate. Yeah, I guess. Hmm. Oh, I never finished Uranus. I need to clean Uranus, guys. It's been 2 hours, true. Damn, are you my bidet? Oh, good, we got the hanging platform. I'm gonna go clean Uranus now. Um, there's a little bit of shit right here. All right, Uranus is clean. See, I usually pronounce it Uranus. However, I couldn't, like, in good conscience, let that joke go. Like, there's an opportunity here, and by God, I'm going to take it. I don't care if that fruit is hanging low. You know what I can do, actually? Josiah does want a bidet, though. I want a bidet. Are you kidding? I knew someone who pronounced it as Uranus. Gross. The motherfucker who named the planet must be giggling. Well, it's named after uh like a Roman god, or like a, well, I guess a titan, really, if you want to be a dick about it. Um, right? I'm sure they didn't know that that was gonna sound very similar to a euphemism for the butt, right? Now, I'm sure they're looking at it being like, why is everyone laughing at this? You know? Apparently bidet toilet attachments are cheap. Hell yeah. I need to look into getting one then, because, like, I've heard nothing but good things about them. I've heard that they take some getting used to, but, like, once you're used to it, then it's, like, you know, pretty good. They do take some getting used to. Yeah. I remember I was over at a friend's house a while back, and they had a bidet at that place they were at the time, and they were constantly like, "Mel, you've got to try the bidet. You've got to try it." And I was like, "I don't need to shit. Why would I need to use the bidet?" It's like, I would take you up on your offer if, however, comma. Brother, why do you want me to shit so bad? It's named after Oranos, the primordial deity and the father of the Titans. Yeah. How would an ancient Roman know the English language would evolve? Oh, they wouldn't, is the thing, right? That's my argument. I'm gonna stick to it. Oh, you know what? While I'm thinking about it, I'm not like a big sports person or anything, but congrats to the Knicks. I also know that's a completely different sport than football, but like, it's just on my mind now. Congrats to the Knicks. Knicks in 5, baby. Let's fucking go. I'm very happy for the people of New York. I'm very happy for the people of New York for a lot of reasons. Um, can you please stop setting buses on fire? That's all I ask. Knicks in 5. God, those chants have been really funny. My mayor's still Muslim, my bagel's still Jewish, the Pope's on our side, Knicks in 5. Got such a laugh out of me, dude. Hmm. Oh, you know what I could do, actually, I think. Come on, please let this work. Ah, well. That might be a bit of an issue there. Hey, there we go. That counts. You know what? God damn it, that counts. I love contributing to New York City's budget by visiting Raw. Need to party with Mumdani. Dude, literally as soon as the Knicks won, Mumdani took to Blue Sky and said, Thursday, parade, Manhattan. Literally, that's all he said. God damn it, I wish I lived in New York. That place seems real good right about now. Oh, God. I wish there was a better way to do this. You know what? There probably is, actually. Hang on. I wanna try something. Because it only counts up to a certain point, right? So if I get a good chunk of this stuff off here, then that should count. First thing I said to my mom when we went to New York City this past month was, "I'm finally in God's country. Mom Donnie's New York." And my mom started laughing. Oh no, I've seen people starting to refer to New York City as Mumdonistan, and you know what? Like, I'm here for it. What's your favorite catty moment, Turnip? Oh, there are so many good ones. I'd have to think about that for a while. I like when he just like pulls random characters out of his ass and just like will play like a stupid character for like a bit. Um, uh, it's a good one. It's a good one offhand. Oh, there was a bit that he did once where it was like putting together a puzzle, and like the puzzle was very obviously like the box art to like a Spyro game or some shit like that, and then it zoomed out and it was just a picture of him, and he's like, well, obviously this means we're going to be playing the Spyro game that you thought it was going to be like. um it's a good bit. My mom likes Mamdani. She's a bit iffy about his policies just because she's old and socialism spooks her a tad, but she says he's the best mayor they've gotten in decades based on personality alone. I mean, yeah, if you want to base it just on personality, he's fucking best they've had in a long time. Um, but like, I get the older generations being a little spooked by socialism because they were taught that socialism is a bad thing. But like, I don't know, man. Beats living in capitalism, I guess. Late stage capitalism at the very least, which is where we're at. Not to be a Debbie Downer or anything, but we finally got to the point where Elon's a trillionaire now, literally a trillionaire, which sucks. I think he needs to be taxed out of all of his money, but whatever. I like the name one, my favorite one golly G drink, my Wii. I don't remember that one offhand. My mom thinks he's a very nice guy, and she's glad he got elected. She didn't like the mayor before him. Uh, to be fair, nobody did. Hence why he did not get elected again. It's nice to know that there's at least one good politician in the States. Oh, yeah, no, it's crazy. It's, it feels a bit like I've seen people be memes like where it's like the United States, the New York City Mamdani subplot, and like the one side is like Blade Runner dystopia, and then the Mamdani one is just like fucking uh what Pyro is seeing during Meet the Pyro, like it's quite the contrast is what I'm saying. There we go. I think it's just this one section left. Well, at least up here on the ceiling, because I think I still have a couple of things to do down below. I'm glad VA's governor is good too. Hell yeah. It's the DreamWorks episode? Okay. My girlfriend plays PowerWash Sim, actually cleans me, draws penises. Hey, you know what? There we go. Had to get one in there. Oh, you know what else I could do, actually? Hang on, that I haven't done yet. And that I forgot to do last night. There we go. Okay, we're gonna get a lot of dings. There we go. Ah! I fell. Help, help, help. How do I climb ladders? Help, 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 help. I don't get on Twitch anywhere near as much as what I used to. That's fair. That's fair. But yeah, welcome in, Uncle. All right, I'm gonna go to bed, have some job interviews tomorrow, and I need to rest up. Get some good rest and good luck. Good luck on your job interviews, everyone. Wish Colleen good luck. Oh, good job. New job, girlfriend, actual social life? Fuck yeah. One's for a used video game retailer, and the other is for our library's new branch opening. Hey, best of luck on both. Honestly. Also, Hyper D, turn up High Neon. How's the watching doing? We've only done this one level so far. We are pretty close to the end now. At least of this level. So it's not taking us as long as last night did. With the roller coaster and everything. There we go. Virgo constellation. Which one's Virgo? I don't remember. That's Cancer. That's Leo. That's Virgo. There we go. All right, outer ceiling. So now it's just this. Plus video game grind. I have to purchase a Switch 2 at some point. Certain game remake. I wonder what that could be. I'm very much looking forward to it. I want to see more before I actually decide if I'm gonna like get it or not. The Ocarina of Time remake, because it could go one of a few ways. They could just be doing a straight remake like they did with Ocarina of Time 3D, which I wouldn't necessarily be opposed to, but I feel like it would be cooler if they took it in a new direction and made it more of like a reimagining than anything else, because we've seen Ocarina of Time multiple times at this point, right? So I think I'd be more interested if it was a full-on reimagining of Ocarina, you know? There's something different. No, the games I'm looking forward to the most are Persona 4 Revival, which is, I think, unfortunately not going to be on Switch 2, but will be on PlayStation, which is probably how I'm going to get it. And then Persona 6 and Deltarune Chapter 5, which comes out in, like, a week at this point. And then fucking Kingdom Hearts 4. Speaking of which, there's going to be a Simpsons world in Kingdom Hearts 4. I don't think they're going to do that. I'm not saying it's necessarily out of the question. Like, Disney does own The Simpsons now, but I don't think they're going to go for it. What I do think is going to happen is they're probably going to put in a Marvel world and probably put in a Star Wars world. I don't think they're going to try to do The Simpsons. It's just a little too silly for how seriously those games take themselves, you know? If there is a world, I'm going to laugh at you just once. No, that's fair. That's fair. I could very well be eating my own words here in 30 years when that game finally comes out. But, like, um, I don't think they're going to go for a Simpsons world. I think that's too far outside of the realm of possibility. Now, that being said, I think it would be really cool if they did a Bob's Burgers world. I feel like Bob's Burgers is just the right amount of, like, you know, they could probably make that work in a Kingdom Hearts context versus something like The Simpsons. Now, it would be really funny if they did a Family Guy world and they were like, you know, this reminds me of the time I fought the Heartless. And then, like, the entire Kingdom Hearts, like, Family Guy world is just a cutaway gag. Right, come on. There we go. We're so close. We're so close to the end. There we go. Okay, it's just this last panel and we're done. We're done with the solar system. Come on, baby. Give it to me. Hey. Check that shit out. Look at that. Look at how fucking dirty that was at the start of this. 2 hours ago. Alright. I rewatched The Greatest Showman. Man, that shit deserved a fucking Oscar. I have my nitpicks with The Greatest Showman, mostly because I do know a little bit of the history of P.T. Barnum and like the Barnum and Bailey situation. Um uh man, that movie is not historically accurate at all. Like it's a good movie, don't get me wrong. It I would agree that it deserves an Oscar, you know, for at least like best original soundtrack or whatever. But like, mm, my God, P.T. Barnum was a fucking asshole in real life. But yeah, no, the soundtrack to that movie, at the very minimum, banger. Million dreams is all it's gonna take. All right. You know what? While we're here, Change washer styling. Oh, I don't have anything else. Okay. Oh, I need to go into, like, actually here and, like, buy things. Cool. Oh, there's not really a whole lot of options then, huh? You know what, I will. Fantastic. Oh, I can get... Fuck, yeah, I'm going for that one. Are you kidding? Alright. Anyway. Man, I love Hugh Jackman and his muscles. I also love the huge jacked man. Alright. Watch this. Damn it, I was gonna make that joke. Sorry, too late. I stole it right out from under you. What are you gonna do about it? Cool. Anyway, just like that, without moving at all, uh, we've already got 18% of this thing done. Arthropleura, I don't mean to judge or anything. What did you just put in my chat? Oh, a medieval dis. I see. I understand now. Thank you. There we go. Okay. Rav, you know those commands are on cooldown. You gotta give it a second. I also see what you're trying to do. Don't think that one slipped by me there. Nuh-uh. Fuck you mean nuh-uh? Oh, hello. Oh, it's on the other side there. I see. Okay. There we go. I was like, maybe I'll do the streetcar next. This one doesn't seem like it's going to take too long. This one might take a little bit longer than I expected it to. Oh, dear. There we go. I'm gonna get the little mirror back here, too. Okay, there we go. That's all the windows done, at least. And there we go. What the frick? There we go. Okay, okay. We're getting somewhere. There we go. There we go. Alright. Get the little corner back here. There we go. Oh, goodness gracious. Whew. I think a good chunk of this is going to be the interior of the streetcar. There we go. There we go. I think that's most of the outside done. I just need to get the roof, really, at this point. There we go. I'm just going to do this a little bit. Clean that up. Okay. Onto the roof. Oh, you know what? I'll get this door arch, too. you go. Okay. Onto the roof. Ooh. They've gone solar. Fuck yeah. I was gonna say, you kind of need it to be uncovered by dirt here for the solar panel to actually do its job, is the thing. There we go. I was gonna say, I could probably get away with using the green nozzle on this one. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, we've got that wire down. We're gonna go over here. Put this little wire there. There we go. Nice. Nice. There we go. There we go, there we go, there we go. Okay. Oh, goodness. Okay. We're getting somewhere. At least I'm over 50% now, which means that more than half of the train car is the outside, right? Or more than half of the stuff that I need to get is on the outside. So I'll probably just soap down the inside and try to get it as much of it as I can in one go. I think that'll be fun. There we go. Cool. I was gonna say skylight roof. I think the... Oh, well, hang on, actually. There we go. There we go. Sick. I think, question mark, that is everything on the exterior. So let's do the interior. Like I said, I think the best way to go with this is just to soap as much of it as possible and then just hit it all with the white nozzle. Here we go. Okay, that's all well and good. We're gonna try it. We're gonna see what happens. Which version of Romeo and Juliet, just the two of them, do you think you could beat in a fight? Well, I wouldn't be able to beat the ones from Lion King 2, because let's be real, that's what that movie is just Romeo and Juliet, but lions. Um, I could probably beat the original, like, Shakespearean Romeo and Juliet in a fight. I don't know about Romeo plus Juliet, because they have guns, and that's scary. Romeo and Juliet I could definitely beat in a fight. There we go. Close the doors. Let's hit it. There we go. That one's all good. Fucking other part of the... Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I was gonna say, because I'm pretty sure I got as much of it in here as I could have. There we go. You know what, actually, that is something I will do real quick, is I'll just do this. There we go. And then I'll come around here and do the same thing. Okay, cool. What are your thoughts on the first SpongeBob movie? It's one of the few things from SpongeBob that I actually like and have seen all the way through. I quite like it. I'm with my dad on a birthday vacation in my hometown, and I'm afraid to whip out the Switch unless he's already asleep. Yeah, I feel that. Hi, Jimmy. Welcome in. How are we? We're doing all right. We're on our second level of the night, right at the moment. We're cleaning up a little streetcar here. There we go. go. There we go. Perfect. I'm gonna get this little light right here. I've officially started getting into true nerd culture as I found a woman willing to put up with me. I have an order, built a competitive Pokemon deck, started collecting manga, and learned how to read. This is very draining, and I would like to go back to being the one white dude in my friend group who could speak to Republicans. Jesus Christ. Yeah, welcome to nerd culture. It's a lot. I hope you survived the experience. Okay, I think... Okay, those ones are still good, so we're all good on doors now. It's so much fun, though. I've already decided I have a favorite card shop and have gone to their Pokemon night today. Placed second with 3-1. Hell yeah! Congratulations. It's been a minute since I played the TCG. I got really into card games when I was in high school. So I learned how to play, Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And I tried learning Magic, and it just didn't click with me. And then I also played Card Fight Vanguard, everyone's favorite card game. I mostly learned it at the behest of Morgan, who was really into Card Fight at the time. And still is, And it's a fun game. It's a shame more people aren't into it, really. Magic is a lot. Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm not a fan of. Vanguard, though, I wish more people play Vanguard. Exactly. Vanguard is a fun game. I'm awful at it, though. I'm really terrible at Vanguard. Of course, I don't play nearly as much as, like, Morgan does. My deck that I have is a Link Joker deck that specializes in locking cards. So locking your cards and locking your opponent's cards so that they can't use them. It's a fun little gimmick. I like to fuck with people with it. Vanguard is cheap. I prefer games that are cheap. That's true. I'm trying to get more people in the tabletop side of 40k since the new edition launches this month. 40k is another thing that I could never get into. I think the most exposure I've had to Warhammer is like one of the like first person shooters because I got it for free on PlayStation Plus. It's like a Doom like. That's literally my bolt gun. I think it was bolt gun, yeah. Um so few people care about Vanguard's playables and rares. Yeah. Uh yeah, I specialize in Link Jokers. That's sort of my go-to. It's also the only deck I own, really, offhand. Um, Morgan's deck is a Kagero deck that really specializes in, like, having as many turns as possible in as few turns as possible, if that makes sense. Where it's like doing all of this shit, standing up your Vanguard and, you know, soul blasting enough times to like have a second card on your Vanguard circle and just fucking destroying you with like 4 billion attack points or whatever. Um, anyway. Boltgun's alright. I prefer Space Marine 2 or Dark Tide for shooters. I have not played those ones. The only reason, like I said, the only reason I played Boltgun at all was because it was free on PlayStation Plus a while back. And I was like, well, I like Doom, so I'll give it a shot. There we go. I can't wait for the time lapse on this one to just be like me cleaning the inside and then 2 minutes of nothing as I'm doing all of the interior stuff. In Vanguard, I like things that hit for 80 bazillion damage. Yeah, you're probably gonna kick out a Kagero then. Um, Boomer shooters ain't really my vibe. I'm more of a horde shooter person myself. I, I, I'm a movement shooter kind of person, which is why I do tend to gravitate towards boomer shooters a little bit, because, like, movement shooters owe a lot of their DNA to boomer shooters. I like Titanfall. And so, to an extent, I also like Doom, if that makes any amount of sense. I tried getting into Yu-Gi-Oh, but it's too complex for my goblin brain. Dude, I got into Yu-Gi-Oh around the time that, like, pendulum summons were, like, first being introduced into the game, and I just straight up didn't even bother learning how any of that shit worked. I learned fusion summoning, I learned synchro summoning, I learned Xyz summoning. That was pretty much it. I gave up trying to learn pendulums. Um, and then, like, shortly after that, that's when they introduced, like, link summoning, and I fucking just gave up on the game after that. I'm a movement shooter person unless it's a movement shooter that's actively lying about what it is. Valorant, that piece of shit. You know what? Fair enough. um, no, I will agree that Yu-Gi-Oh is stupid. I'll leave you off with a warning this time, Jimmy. Just don't do it again. Um, but yes, I agree. Yu-Gi-Oh is stupid. Nowadays, I like. It's the kind of game that, like, really has had, like, a lot of power creep and a lot of, like, well, we need to add new mechanics to keep the game fresh, and then it, like, actively ruins the game. No, I caught myself. It was just too late, wrong crowd. Yeah, no, you're fine. You're fine. This is the thing with a lot of that is, like, I know there are people that are gonna be in the same circles as me that also frequent other circles where, you know, they don't, you know, they use that kind of language. I get that. I do get that. As long as you're making an effort, it's, you know, that's all I ask. I don't, I'm not gonna ban you instantly, you know. Speaking of cursed Bible stuff, Joseph in the Promised Land. Oh, yes. Joseph in the Promised Land. I did watch that one in its entirety, and let me tell you, it's a fucking pile of dog shit. Um, it's really, really bad. Cursed Bible stuff. Uh, yes. We were talking about cursed, like, Bible stuff earlier. We brought up, like, Gaither's Pond and stuff like that. But yes, uh, Joseph in the Promised Land is not great. Did you know the guy who made an AI 9/11 movie? I did know about that. And yeah, man, he seems like the kind of guy that would do that. Which is to say that he seems like the kind of guy that sucks. Alright, what the hell did I miss? Okay, extinguisher mount. Oh, hello. Front lower body. I didn't fully get this one. Okay, that one's good. Extinguisher mount. There's also Bible Man. Who are we talking about? Truth be told, I haven't read the whole Bible, and he made a what? Yes. Okay, so there was a long time ago, there was a guy named Rick Lyon, who decided to make an animated movie based on the story of Joseph from the Bible. And it's really, really bad. Anyway, he made well, prompted an AI to make uh, a movie about 9/11. It's not good. It's not good. Of course, his name's spelled Rick Lyon with a Y. Yeah, it's something else, man. All right, let's see. I don't think I have enough time tonight to be able to do this one. I was looking at it earlier. I was like, how many? I love bad movies, not so much bad takes. If you love bad movies, watch Joseph in the Promised Land because you will get a kick out of it then. All right, so let's see. Power wash 2 levels. Because I want to see how many levels specifically we have left. Okay, so we've done the removals van, the public facility, the campsite, the Art Deco house, the dog car, the billboard, the teapot tea room, the shooting gallery, the road sweeper, the gas station, the bandstand, the mobility scooter, the Nouveau house, the airship, the cement mixer, the farm, the stone circle, the rock climbing park, the roller disco, the tractor, the temple interior, the car and trailer, the theater, the motel, the mini roller coaster, the solar system exhibit, and the streetcar. We still have 11 levels to go. Speaking of bad movies, Food Fight, yeah. Have you ever watched those Lego AI Bible stuff? No, because I actively avoid watching AI anything, if I can help it. I try to avoid it as much as possible. Oh, goodness. All right, well, in that case, I will not go to a new level per se, but... oh, God. I'm allergic to my game not showing the right graphics. I want to go to my home base. How do I go to my home base? How do I do that? Oh, there we go. Stretch break. Hi, Eden. I guess it has been a minute since I've started stream. Have you been following the mixtape controversy? A little bit. I know that it's a game that came out and that like a lot of reviewers were giving it a lot of really good scores, and then a lot of like real people, not to imply that reviewers aren't real people, but a lot of like regular people have just been like playing it and said, no, it's actually bad. All I saw was that the main mechanic is like rewinding a cassette tape, and they got literally everything wrong about rewinding cassette tapes. I don't think video game reviewers are actually real anymore. No, I'm pretty sure a lot of them are paid off. Like, legit. I think it's mostly AI. I also believe that. But like, if we're under the assumption that it's still real people, um, I feel like a lot of them are like paid to write some of the shit they do. It's industry plant the game. Oh, 100%. It's mixtape from everything that I've seen has all of the hallmarks of being an industry plant. You know, Gonna do a couple of these real quick. I'm decorating this space as if I was living in the back rooms. As in, nothing here makes sense because I can't be bothered to actually do any interior decorating. Nothing indie about it. Probably cooked up by some Nepo baby who was bored. Wasn't that, like, pretty much confirmed to be true? Maybe I misread something somewhere, but I'm pretty sure, like, it was actually created by, like, a Nepo baby. I don't think it's an industry plant because it didn't perform well at all. It doesn't have to perform well to be an industry plant. It just has to be, like... It just has to make a lot of press coverage, I think, you know? And a lot of unnecessary press coverage that it doesn't deserve. She's the daughter of the 5th richest man in the world who owns TikTok. Yeah. Um... Like, it had one really cool scene, spoilers for a game nobody cares about, but during a softball scene, one of the characters is having trouble hitting the ball. Then a second character, basically Asian prodigy stereotype, comes on and slams the ball, and it plays The Touch from Transformers. Really well done scene. I mean, that sounds cool, but, like, it's also in a game that, like, nobody cares about. There we go. Hmm. Yeah, I'll do this one next. Oh, that's way smaller than I thought it would be. There we go. Didn't they buy, like, forever rights for the songs they use? Yes, they did. If I remember correctly. Then you know what they do? They fucking interrupted to talk about Transformers the movie. Fuck you, video game. I know the touches in Transformers. I watched the movie. I'm gonna go see that movie when they do the apology tour. I legit got a fucking trailer for that when I went to go see Digital Circus, where they were like, we're doing Transformers the movie, the apology tour. We're sorry for killing Optimus 40 years ago. Um, so, you know, spoiling the whole movie, I guess, in the trailer, but whatever. The movie came out 40 years ago. I don't care. Um, this one is about as big as I expected it to be. Wait, they're re-releasing Transformers the movie? Yes, they are. And I'm probably going to go see it, because I just need to watch that movie, quite honestly. I've heard a lot of good things about it. I do know Orson Welles is in it, and I think that's really funny. There we go. I genuinely thought you were power washing a cheese grater. No, it was a typewriter. And also, this is a sewing machine right here. I do not think it's an indie game because an indie game is defined by a small team with a small budget, but this game had a full team behind it and a large pit of money. It isn't a AAA studio, yes, but it's still not indie. This is the thing, though, is we can, like, debate what really makes an indie game forever, right? Like, I'd say, you know, something like Cave Story is an indie game, but now it's also owned by a relatively decent-sized publisher, so, like, is it still an indie game? It was when it was first being developed. It was made by, like, one guy, but, like, the rights holders is, like, a whole team of people, right? Or like something like Undertale was made by basically one guy and a couple of his friends hanging out, you know, like helping out with it and everything. And now Deltarune, which I feel like many people would still consider an indie game, is being done by a whole fucking team of people, you know? So where do we draw the line on that, you know? That's something you can debate forever. I can slap neo-Nazi on Celeste, but that doesn't change the fact it's lesbian fan fiction. First of all, it's trans lesbian fan fiction. Um, Let us not forget that Madeline is canonically transgender. Um, Happy Pride, everyone. There we go. Just gonna see if I can get the rest of this furniture done. Might as well. I personally think my favorite indie game is Call of Duty 4. My favorite indie game is what would be my favorite indie game? My favorite indie game is Bubsy 3D for the PlayStation. Um, Actually, no, that's a lie. My favorite indie game is I actually genuinely have to think about this. Oh my god. My favorite indie game is probably RimWorld or Vintage Story. If I had to be real, I'd say probably Celeste would be my favorite indie game. Like if I'm not actually like, you know, making jokes or anything. You decorate your house like it's a hide and seek map for a bad mini game style game. Oh, yeah, 100%. I'm 100% decorating this place like it's a really bad Gmod map. um Partly because I can't be fucked to actually do any interior decorating, and also I think it's funny. Put that one there. That'll work. Oh, that's bigger than I thought it would be. Don't take that out of context. There we go. Perfect. Enter the Gungeon is my favorite indie game. I should probably play Enter the Gungeon at some point. I've heard a lot of good things about it. Um, yeah, no, I'm gonna stick with my answer. I'm gonna stick with Celeste. It's a lot harder than you'd think, but once you get a feel for it, the game's a vibe very similar to Hades. Oh, fuck yeah, I'd probably be really into it then, because I really like both Hades games. Here we go. Next one, this one. There we go. Which I'm yet to finish. Still a lot of stuff to do in that game. Yeah, I've only ever beaten the original Hades once, and I still haven't actually, like, gotten all the way through, um, like, Hades 2 yet. Do you know the history of YouTubers Red and I think Blue, the dude-girl combo? They did a full Hades playthrough, and it was super entertaining. First of all, you're talking about Overly Sarcastic Productions. Yes, I'm very well aware of them. I've been a subscriber to them for years and years at this point. Um, but yes, um, I do know them, and yeah. And those two really know their stuff when it comes to like the mythology and everything. Like Red very much specializes in like mythology and folklore and that kind of thing. And then Blue's the history guy. Overly Sarcastic Productions, yeah, those guys rock. They'd talk about Hades and just immediately point things out, and I had no clue about them. Yeah, they really know their stuff. I mean, I would hope so. They've been doing, you know, deep dives onto like mythology and history for literal years at this point. Um, I first got introduced to them actually again through Morgan, um, because when we were in high school, Morgan had written a play based on the myth of Cuchulainn, um, and to sort of catch everyone up to speed on what it's based on and everything. Uh, like he had everyone who was reading it as part of our district competition, um, or they. I say he, but they were he at the time, so that's like where my brain's going. The that they got us to watch the overly sarcastic video on Cuchulainn, um, as sort of like a primer, so to speak, for it. That's how I found out about them. Oh, that's what I missed. There we go. Um, sure, that'll work. Um, but yeah, no, I've been watching their stuff for ages and ages and ages. I really like their detailed diatribe videos. I personally enjoyed their work on H.P. Lovecraft. Didn't know those things about the guy. Yeah, H.P. Lovecraft was certainly a guy that existed, huh? Don't ever look up what he named his cat. Um, yeah, no, that was sort of my like primer into Lovecraft's work was that video as well. Because I hadn't read any of the books up to that point, and I'm not sure I want to anymore. H.P. Lovecraft would be so cool in all of the like the alt-right forums in the 2000s. Oh, 100%. I feel like if he were around today, H.P. Lovecraft would be like an anti-vaxxer and like probably stalk around on like 4chan and you know like that kind of thing. Like that's the kind of vibes I get from Lovecraft. Now, did he write some of the best cosmic horror ever? That's debatable. Um, but he certainly wrote cosmic horror for sure. There we go. That'll work. His cosmic horror had well issues. Yeah, that's why I'm saying sensible people can debate on whether or not it was actually good or not. Um, I do think some of the concepts that he came up with were like interesting. I just don't like the execution on a lot of them. Like, Cool Air, I think, is a really neat like idea for a story. It's like, oh, a a guy who actually died ages ago, but like is keeping himself in a state of being undead through the power of science, I think is a really cool concept. Why'd he have to make it about air conditioners though? Why did the man have to be scared of fucking AC units? I love Cosmic Horror. Loved what he did for the horror space. Just don't read his Cosmic Horror. Read the good stuff. Yeah, exactly. Very much like Walt Disney didn't die kind of story. Oh, like the old tale of like Walt's actually been cryogenically frozen and his head is under the Pirates of the Caribbean ride or whatever. Mm. Yeah, I don't buy any of that. All right, that's all of the furniture done, so I think we're probably just going to call it there. Unless, well, hang on, let me see real quick. Because I think I have like one thing, two things left I can buy. I'll get that. And then the next thing that I buy, I think, is the last thing left. So we will do this last one here real quick, and then we'll call it. That kind of thing, just the stories he made birthed into the kind of early mythos of internet horror. Yeah. I still think the Walt Disney thing specifically is like a big misunderstanding. I'm pretty sure there was a joke about like after Walt died, how he went into suspended animation because he was an animator, kind of thing. And then people took it the wrong way and didn't realize it was a joke, and that's why they say he was like cryogenically frozen or whatever. I think that's how that started. If I had to take a shot in the dark. But like that urban legend got so bad to the point they were like shortly after Michael Eisner took over as CEO of the Disney company, he actually like straight up asked like Walt's daughter about the whole thing, and she had to say no, Dad's actually dead. He was cremated, like that kind of thing. Which like it's kind of fucked up that she has to clarify that. I think it started because ooh spooky. I think it also does make an amount of sense if you know anything about Walt and what he like wanted his legacy to be. He wanted to be like known as a futurist more than as like an animator or a cartoonist or anything like that. So like it would make sense that he'd you know try to use this newfangled scientific technique to try to keep himself alive or whatever. But like no, the technology still doesn't exist. So like I sincerely doubt that it would have existed 60 years ago. By the way, happy 60th anniversary of the death of Walt Disney, by the way. The man died in December of 1966. Don't ask why I just know that offhand. Bro, Michael Eisner asking Walt's daughter if his boss is under the park. Yeah, it's funny to like us because we're very divorced from the situation, but like, God, imagine being Walt's daughter and having to put up with that shit from literally everyone, including the new CEO of your dad's company, right? Like, I would fucking hate everyone for that if I were her. There we go. Yeah, I'll just put that there. That works. Tom Hanks' Walt Disney was extremely entertaining. I recently watched that movie. I didn't know about a smoking thing. Oh yeah, no, he was a big smoker. He was really really like into all of that, but he never wanted to be seen by the public with a cigarette because he knew it was bad for you. Um, and he didn't want to like pass that on to the kids, being like, oh well, Walt smokes, like that kind of thing, which I think is interesting. I don't know. He was very much about keeping up appearances. Um, Walt Disney was. Anyway, that I think is going to be all for tonight. We got 2 levels done and we cleaned a bunch of furniture. So I'd say mission accomplished. We still got 11 levels to go. I'm hoping that in the next few power wash streams I'll be able to like call for help, get a couple other people on here, and hopefully they'll go by a little bit quicker. Walt Disney as a man sounded very interesting. One of the people I'd like to meet. Yeah. Um, Let me see if anyone else is live. I know Mel was live a little while ago. Okay. She still is. She's playing Star Fox. It looks like she's playing the demo of the new one right at the moment. And it looks like a bunch of friendos are there. It looks like Smash and Vivi and Drew and Yo-Yo are all there. That's cool. Anyway, we're gonna go raid Mel. So let's get that done. So /raid maiden melody. There we go. I'm gonna go ahead and go to the log off screen. We'll get the raid message out. Bonk. There it is. So you just pulled a turnip raid. And just as a friendly reminder, the vibes over at Mel's are going to be a little bit different than they are here. So just keep that in mind. And go enjoy yourselves. Have fun. And yeah, that's all I got. We'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.